Hello, welcome to Temple of Sunshine and templeofsunshine.com, where we talk about all things manifesting, law of attraction, affirmations and Taoism. So today's topic is, what are the best books for law of attraction, to learn about it, to discuss it, I guess, with other people who have read the book, and just to understand it better and, really get into how it works, why it works. And pretty much these books have really got me where I am today in terms of the law of attraction manifesting. These are sort of the books that have really got me to my level of knowledge. I'm only going to be discussing these four today, but that doesn't mean that there are not so many other law of attraction books that you can go out and read. These are my favorite, these are my recommendations, and I know that you're going to love them. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So I want to talk about these four books, and actually I have another one which I don't have a physical copy of with me right now because I actually gave it to a friend, and then I've actually bought quite a few copies for people on their birthdays and whatnot, and it has some of the best reviews I've ever heard for a law of attraction book, so we're definitely going to talk about that. But let's talk about these physical copies first. So number one, let's start off with the absolute OG. You know it. It's The Secret. Now, I actually read my first copy of The Secret on mobile, on iBooks. But this is my mum's copy, and you'll see that she has loads of little bits of paper where she's bookmarked something important. But the cool thing about having on iBooks is I have hundreds of pages in this book highlighted, so I can just go back in my iBooks. I can just see the bits I've highlighted on a nice list, and I'm not going to open up for you because my mum's notes will all fall out, but this is the hardback and it's by Rhonda Byrne. It's called The Secret, and I'm just going to assume that you've probably heard of The Secret if you're on this video, but of course assumptions are not always the best way to go about things, so I'm going to talk to you about it. The Secret was my first introduction to this whole thing called the law of attraction. I did not know what it was, but I can guarantee you guys, if it wasn't for this book today, I don't know where I'd be. I don't want to lie to you and just big this book up because I don't get any commission from telling you to go out and buy this book, and I have absolutely zero reasons to tell you how great this is. This book changed my life, and I don't like to use that phrase very lightly. This book changed the fact that I was always going through life negatively, through a depressive mindset. I used to say things all the time like, what's the point of this existence? I just didn't enjoy being here as a human being. I had a lot of bouts of depression, existential crisis, etc., etc. This book is a great introduction into the law of attraction. It is not the end all and be all. It is not the full shebang. We'll talk about that in a few other of these books. But The Secret is a very easy, commercialized and very well marketed book that will make a lot of non-believers of all this woo-woo stuff open up a bit more to the law of attraction, because I understand that it's a concept that people think isn't true, it's not backed by science, and we'll talk about that in another book. But The Secret is an amazing way that makes you realize how easy it is. It just tells you that instead of running around your life telling people life is hard, start saying it's easy. This book will change your life. If you've not read it yet, even if you are a very spiritual person who really understands the law of attraction manifesting, you're really, really deep diving into law of attraction, and it's been years, but if you've not read The Secret, go out and read it, because it always rejigs my excitement for manifestation as well. Let's say I've been manifesting for a long time, which I have, and sometimes I sort of fall off the wagon, or I get a little less excited about it, the first time you read The Secret, the first time you discover law of attraction, it's so exciting. Like the stuff that happens, you're like, I can do anything. This makes you realize that you can. Of course, The Secret is also a film, but this impacted me way more than the film ever did. The film didn't speak to me as much as this did. Within like 10 minutes of reading this book, my life changed. I wish I was joking, because these are all very out there statements. I was on the plane to Madrid with my very, very good friend, and she already put me in a very good mood. So I was very receptive and open of this book. And my trip to Madrid was perfect. Every small thing fell into place perfectly. I became a new person after that trip because of this book and using the teachings. But anyway, I'm going to move on from The Secret because I know The Secret is such a big empire that we probably don't need to talk about anymore. The second law of attraction book I read and I didn't get on with this book very well when I first read it, is Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, or Esther and Jerry Hicks. Don't start with this book, and it's on my recommended list for a reason. Let's get into it. Don't start with this book. Whatever you do, start with this book or another one I'm going to talk about in a minute. This is an excellent book, right? And Esther and Jerry, collectively, Abraham Hicks, they have amazing teachings, guys. They have changed lives all over the world. They have a bad rep because of the way that they channel and write their books in third person. So they refer to themselves as Esther. So let's say Esther Hicks is talking, she'd say, Esther walked into a room one day, and stuff like that really puts people off. Also, the fact that they speak through some entity or spirit called Abraham, all of that is very off-putting for someone who just wants to get into law of attraction. Ignore all of that. Can I just please request you ignore all of that and just read what is in this? It has, and you can see I've got notes in here, it has some of the best law of attraction advice I have ever read. Abraham Hicks have been doing this longer than Rhonda Byrne with The Secret has. And you know what? These two were actually supposed to be in The Secret, the film. But I believe they pulled out due to contractual reasons or whatever. But this book's been around longer than The Secret, I believe. And everything in here is just excellent advice. Amazing advice. The first time I read it round, I think I had a few things I was annoyed about in my life, and it wasn't resonating with me. Like The Secret, I was already in a happy mood when I read it, right? I was high vibrational. And when I picked it up, I was like, wow, this is amazing. But with this, it took me a little longer to understand and appreciate. Recently in 2020, since about the beginning of November, I have been going crazy for Abraham Hicks. When I'm driving, I listen to her audios where she's talking to an audience. I think about them a lot. Their central teaching is simply that you need to think about if you're feeling good or not. And that's what triggers the law of attraction. Whereas with this, you learn about lots of different things like speaking it into existence. This, you learn about the absolute crux of law of attraction. It's very thick. It's a big boy, but excellent book. Highly recommend, but only after you've read The Secret or the third book I'm going to get into, which I don't have a physical copy. So the third book, and I'm going to put a picture up of it, maybe here, if I'm good at editing. If not, I'll put it as an overlay. It is the book by Jen Sincero, and it is You Are a Badass. Excellent book. Read this last year. I, however, read her other book, which is You Are a Badass at Making Money, before I had read that, which was my mistake. That is one of the best books I've ever read in terms of wealth consciousness and wealth mindset, and we'll be doing another video on wealth books. Yes, that is a topic in itself, and I didn't want to mesh it in with this video. So if you want that, please comment below that you would like to see a video of my recommendations for books for law of attraction and wealth. But let's move on. So You Are a Badass is a absolutely excellent way to get into law of attraction as well. Like I said, read Ask and It Is Given after you have read The Secret or this book. Read it after you read You Are a Badass, because You Are a Badass is hilarious. Jen Sincero writes in a very funny manner. It's very lighthearted and it's very easygoing. It's not like The Secret where it's almost like a sales pitch telling you how life can be so amazing and it almost feels a little fake. Jen Sincero is a very down-to-earth woman who writes in the way that she understands that people are going to be skeptical about these things. So if you're a bit more on the skeptical side and you don't really like this whole self-help narrative, you don't like this sort of come into the vortex and, you know, set your intention and life will be amazing. If you don't like all that, Jen Sincero is a great way to get into law of attraction just through a much more realistic voice. You know, she swears in her book. She makes it very relatable is what I'm trying to get at. I have gifted that book to 2 people and they loved it, and they actually said that, you know, it brought about positive change, and one of the people said that it changed their life. Anyway, next one I want to talk to you about is this book. This is my 4th recommendation. This book is, it sits in my heart so deeply. I'm smiling because I cannot tell you how much of a positive change this book brought to my life, to me as a person. You know, the law of attraction, one of the main things, guys, is the law of attraction works a lot hand in hand with karma. Being a good person is important. If you want to manifest the world and everything amazing, you have to give that energy out to other people as well. And we can go over that. But This book taught me to be a spiritual person. These books, you know, The Secret, Ask and It Is Given, You Are About Us, taught me that I can manifest anything in this world and that law of attraction is amazing. This book taught me to be a spiritual person. This book taught me that there is so much beyond this life of this, you know, this flesh that we live in. There is a soul inside us. We are expanding. We are connected with the universe. This book opened the door. It is the gateway to becoming a spiritual person for me. And you can see just from the passion that I have for this book, how it affected my life. Once again, all my mum's notes. Once again, a bookmark of Student Finance England that I used. This book is called The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dwyer. Sorry for not saying that so far. Amazing book. Where do I even start? So he kind of has 7 rules that you should follow. The 7 rules of intention, or 8 rules of intention. And he teaches you that, you know, law of attraction works. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, but there are ways to make your life much more peaceful and easy and flowing hand in hand with the law of attraction. You know, the sort of foreword of this book is learning to co-create your world your way. So it is about law of attraction, but it's also teaching you how you can make that flow easier. So for example, I think one of his 8 or 7 sort of rules of intention are that there's the power of expansion, kindness. So for example, there's like some really nice pieces here about how being kind really helps sort of speed up your manifestations, but it especially shows that if you are kind, that kindness comes back to you. So if you'd like to attract kindness in your life, giving it out brings it to you. Remember, with the law of attraction, like attracts like. So this book, I don't have too much to say about it because it's been a long time that I read it, but I can tell you that this impacted my life in a way that none of these other books have. Amazing. I really suggest you just go out and get it because you'll come out of it a much better person. Okay, and the last book today, guys, I have so many more law of attraction books I can tell you about, but these are my, you know, sort of top 5. Yeah, top 5 recommended. It is, of course, number 5 is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Now, by the way, I didn't put these as, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as in 1 being the best or 5 being the best. These are all equally as amazing as each other, but I have listed them in the way that they are chronological of when you should read them in my perspective. So you go Secret or Jensen Chero first, Ask and It Is Given second, because they go, like, you know, they work well if you read one after the other. Dr. Wayne Dwyer, I think you can read either like before this one or after this one, in my opinion. So this one is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Excellent, excellent book for those of you who think that law of attraction is not backed by science. Amazing book for those of you who believe that, you know, law of attraction just doesn't really sit well with you. It doesn't make sense. Or I have read a lot online that law of attraction is not compatible with Christianity. I'd just like to reach out for those of you who are, you know, of the Christian faith and say that is, you know, I don't want to say it's simply not true and, you know, discredit your beliefs, but this book may help you understand why that is not true. You know, it is a very scientific thing. It is pretty much that when we focus on a certain intention, and that is a collection of atoms. Let's say you want more money, or let's say you want a partner. It is essentially a collection of atoms, and bringing that into your reality through a law of the universe isn't really anti-God, but works with God. So for those of you who are quite skeptical, whether that's, you know, about the fact that you don't really like spiritual things and you don't really like self-help things, or let's say you come from a religious perspective and you think that the law of attraction might be a negative, this book really helps non-believers become believers. This is an amazing book. I have not got too far in it. I am up till here. But the reason why I've put this on this list is because I know that this is a very highly rated book in the law of attraction community, but this is a book that has definitely made me understand the law of attraction in ways that The Secret never did. You know, this has made me realize the quantum physics behind law of attraction, and I'm not someone who did very good at physics in school, and I'm understanding this word for word perfectly. It is a very great way to, you know, understand our neural pathways in our brain and our biological makeup, and the physics around us and how law of attraction works within all of that. So these were my 5 recommendations. I hope that you guys really enjoy them. If you have read any of them, please give me your book review, maybe a few sentences down below in the comments. I'd love to see your opinions. And of course, let me know if I've missed anything out that you think I should go out and read, and I would absolutely love to know your opinions. Please subscribe and like if you found this useful at all. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to speak to you next time. Bye.